Roar!
Ew. Boris the Spider by A Hoof-ful of Dust. Rainbow Dash blinked the sun out of her eyes. She felt a tickling sensation at the end of her wing. The spider scuttling along her pinions had to be the size of a hoof, at least.
Ah!
She flicked her wing frantically, trying to dislodge the horrible little monster. To no avail. When Rainbow stopped beating her wing to fling it off into the leaves, it started crawling up her wings towards her back, glaring at her with its many beady eyes.
Ah! Get off! Get off! Get off! Get off!
She was twisted her head, trying to watch it while brushing it away, and as a result, she lost her balance on the limb she had been sleeping on. She landed on the ground with an impact she barely felt. Springing to her hoofs, she spun around several times, checking that the spider hadn't made the fall with her. Satisfied, she straightened out her wings. Rainbow was having second thoughts about her decision to not have taken a nap in a passing cloud.
Dashy? Are you okay?
And on hearing Fluttershy's voice, she became quite sure that a cloud should have been the way to go.
Yeah, fine. Not a problem.
She leaned against the tree to show how fine she was, but it didn't manage to change the look of concern on Fluttershy's face.
What was going on up there?
Up where?
In the tree.
What tree?
Rainbow?
It was nothing. Don't worry about it.
She ran a hoof through her mane.
It sounded like you were in trouble.
Rainbow looked around to check there weren't more ponies beyond Fluttershy in hearing distance.
Well, okay, but don't, freak out about it or anything.
She cleared her throat.
There was a spider.
Fluttershy, instead of cringing in horror, merely looked at her as if she expected Rainbow to elaborate.
A really big one. It must have been about this big.
She measured with her hoofs.
With fangs and...
Rainbow trailed off. Fluttershy was flying up into the tree.
Don't go up there! It's still there!
Rainbow fidgeted on the tips of her hoofs, debating if she should follow. Deciding, reluctantly, that she couldn't let Fluttershy face a killer spider on her own, she shot up to the branch level, ready to give any creepy crawlies a well-deserved bucking. Fluttershy was looking around the inner branches of the tree, not like she was on guard for the giant spider waiting to pounce, but like she was searching for something she dropped. Then she suddenly spotted whatever she was looking for, as she reached her hoofs into the cluster of fresh leaves, and pulled them back with the spider perched on the end of one of them.
Fluttershy!
She seemed to take no notice, and instead spoke in a soft voice.
No. Did Rainbow frighten you?
It was
Huh? What? Wasn't that question the wrong way around?
Because Rainbow isn't scary when you get to know her.
Fluttershy brought the spider extremely close to her face.
A little bit loud, but not scary.
She giggled.
Fluttershy, are you talking to that spider?
Rainbow felt like she could barely keep her jaw from dropping open, but managed to keep it closed. She had heard spiders loved to make nests in dark places, including Pony's mouth, and she didn't know how far this one could jump.
Of course,
she said, as if it were perfectly normal.
His name is Boris.
It has a name?
Of course it has a name. Isn't he just the cutest little thing?
Fluttershy held the spider up in front of her, presumably so Rainbow could get a good look at it. Boris's furry legs bristled, and she looked into its dozen or so tarry black eyes. Rainbow took a couple of quick flaps in the direction directly away from the spider. When she was finally able to tear her gaze away from it, she saw the curious look on Fluttershy's face.
Rainbow Dash, are you scared of spiders?
What? No.
Fluttershy lunged forward, pushing Boris and his alien eyes and hairy legs towards her. Rainbow veered away, making a completely involuntary high-pitched noise. Pulling the spider back towards her, Fluttershy smiled, her point proven. This needed some explanation.
It's not like I'm afraid of spiders. They just gross me out. Mainly their legs. They have so many of them. Things shouldn't have more than 4 legs. How can you stand that crawling all over your hoofs, Fluttershy?
Boris looked like he was doing a thorough job of mapping out the territory of Fluttershy's forelegs.
Boris is harmless, aren't you?
If Boris acknowledged his status of being harmless or not, Rainbow couldn't tell.
You should try to just touch him a little bit. He'll be good.
Rainbow imagined the feel of those thousands and thousands of bristles against her hoofs, and recoiled.
No, no way!
He won't bite.
No!
He'll stay still.
No!
Fluttershy glanced down at Boris like she was conferring with him.
Okay.
Okay?
Just so you know, he isn't dangerous.
Rainbow looked at the spider crawling between Fluttershy's hoofs.
I know.
And he isn't going to make a web in your mane, or crawl in your mouth while you're asleep, or lay eggs in your cheek, or...
Don't say stuff like that!
Fluttershy shrugged.
Some ponies have strange ideas about spiders.
She looked at Rainbow.
But not you, right? Because Rainbow Dash isn't afraid of spiders.
Right. Listen, Fluttershy.
Rainbow looked around.
If you could just kinda keep this to yourself.
Oh, I can keep a secret.
Fluttershy patted Boris's bristly head.
But Boris might tell some pony.
I can live with that.
Rainbow made a swift exit from the tree, looking for a comfortable cloud somewhere far out of the reach of spiders. Author's note. There's something odd about the way Fanfic counts words and the way Word counts words. I seem to have gained an extra 20 or so words that needed to be trimmed out. Weird. Also, I might have mentioned on my blog that I was working on another story. This isn't it. It's going through the editing process right now. Ironically, the impending end of Season 3 might jibe really well with what I'd been writing. Just want to see it before I hammer out the last couple of final details. Hello everyone, this is Visual Pony from Pony&Wolf Productions, and I thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to this video. At this point, I want to thank all of our amazing patrons on Patreon for supporting this channel with their monthly donations and keeping the lights on around here. Now, more than ever, it is important that you support your favorite content creators, because due to YouTube's new content policy changes, we, along with other content creators, had to demonetize a lot of our most profitable videos. For us, those are the Fallout Equestria stories. As you can see on the graph on screen right now, our earnings per video used to be relatively okay. Even though the earnings were never enough for a viable career, it was enough for a good, decent side income. Now we are struggling to pay our bills. If you want to support us for as little as $1 a month, you can do so by clicking on our Patreon link down in the description below. And you can get wonderful perks like, for example, early access to all of our stuff. Sometimes things like this are recorded months in advance. Voice acting lessons from me or Midnight, if you really want to. And you can join our Patreon Discord server. Even though it may look like there's not much going on in there, I am actually checking it on the daily. Thank you for listening to this message, and I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day.